Our friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today was Max Effort Good Morning Day, and tried a new bar. It's my second time maxing on a Good Morning. You guys have already seen the footage of the max. Got 515. I felt like I left a little bit in the tank, which is good on something like this. On a Good Morning, yeah, I want to leave a little bit in the tank. But I'm very, very happy with this. I had set a goal earlier this year that when I was going to start maxing on these was to get to a 500. And then later I said, well, also I definitely need to get to 600. Well, I hit a 515 my second time doing a max on a Good Morning. I'm happy with it. Exactly what I need this lift to be doing. It's exactly what I need it to be doing. And yeah, the strength is coming up on it. And I've got a number of videos coming out explaining the biomechanics coming out in the next month, explaining the biomechanics and how it carries over to the squat and things like that. So it's stuff that we need to be aware of, something we need to be aware of. But yeah, I mean, it's one of these where it's like, okay, I need to work on getting to 600. And I feel like I'm closing in on that 600 squat. I mean, we're going to find out next week with a new squat, obviously, where I'm at. We'll see what we get on the chart. I might just kind of look through and decide last minute, you know what, this is just what I'm going to do. And see if we can get a nice solid squat PR in, you know, to go with these other lifts. All right, we want to get a nice solid squat. I want to get something good. But this is putting me on track for it, because again, quite frankly, I felt like I left a little in the tank. And yes, some people will point out these are slightly squatty. Yeah, they are slightly squatty when we're maxing out. There's no way around that. I mean, guys, I weigh 223. It's over double my body weight. Even people out there who are saying I lie, it's like, oh, he's actually 250. That still would be over double that. Do the math. Then I started doing sets of 10. And that's something I've said a lot in my lifts. I'm going to go over to more 10s again. But I've gotten stronger on these. So I did the math and realized about 360 is what I need to be doing sets of 10 with based on that. But I went up 5 pounds over. I'm doing 365. Now, for people who don't understand the math, this is an 85-pound bar. It's made by Titan. It's Titan rackable cambered bar. 85-pound bar. So that's why you might be looking at the plates going, oh, there's 3 plates and some change on each side. So that's the bar weight. All right, it's the bar weight. I did 2 sets of 10 though, and then I'm like, man, I am just shot. I don't know if I could do another set. I'm getting nauseous here. Because this is more weight than I'm used to using on Good Mornings. And again, now that I'm pushing them, I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And that topic came up too, if someone had asked in the comments, hey, how's this any better than a Romanian deadlift? You're just not training your grip. Well, we don't train our grip on maxes anyways. Number one, the bar is further up on your back. You're not going to do as much weight as an RDL. And a lot of guys forget, guys who have really strong hamstrings can sometimes Romanian deadlift more than they deadlift. Okay, perspective. And I know that throws some people off because they think of their RDL as this smaller exercise than a deadlift. It's a partial. Okay? It's a partial. And if you've got really strong hamstrings, oftentimes you can do more on an RDL. So we've seen me deficit deadlift 625 last week. I might be able to RDL more than that. So no, they're not really the same at that point. Then I did some inverted rows again with the wide grip. This is just for grip. Today it's just grip and upper back. I don't really care about it that much. If I need to do extra grip work, this works great for my grip, works in my other training. Someone had asked also, hey, you know, why don't you touch your chest on these? I'm like, because that's my range of motion. I would have to contort myself and twist under to get my chest up to it. I have long arms. I know my ape index. It's one reason I'm good at deadlifting and not particularly good at benching. I have quite long arms. So that is where my scapula pinch together. So in other words, if that grip for me to pinch my scapula together completely, I've got to change my angle. Like maybe if I pull to my lower chest, I can do it, but not my upper chest. Because I'm pulling these to my upper chest. If you look at the grip I'm using, I'm intentionally doing this close to my face. So it's up at my neck. And if it was my lower chest, maybe, because I can bench that. But at that particular angle, due to my arm length, my scapula pinched together. Well, a lot of these exercises, we don't care about what you perceive to be the range of motion. We care about joint angles, right? And wherever a joint moves, that's where the joint moves. I'm not trying to do this as some sort of calisthenics movement where I find a way to contort myself up to the bar. We don't care. We're doing this for lats, rear delts, mid traps, grip work, with a heavy emphasis on the upper back. So the posterior delts, infraspinatus, traps, all of that, which I want to work on. Okay, so I don't care about contorting myself to some weird performance angle. I only care about the muscles and the joints involved. Then we did sets of 10 on glute ham raises. I had been doing slightly lower reps with a heavier band. This is still a very heavy band. I went over to this band because I can do sets of 10 with it. We cranked out 3 sets of 10. And again, my hamstrings are pretty well shot. Now, on a lot of these lifts I did today, I did a little bit of lighter band work and stuff in between. So it's not like what you're seeing is everything, but I just don't need to stand there and do band pull aparts and stuff. After a lot of the movements, a lot of times I do things like rear delt work, just band pull aparts and things like that for shoulder health. So there was a little bit of other stuff thrown in here, and I'll probably do a bunch of band work for biceps today. I might do some grip work, extra grip work, because I need to get that grip up because we're going to max deadlift again in a couple weeks. I need to make sure I hit a good deadlift PR, and my grip was a little slippery last time. So it's one of the reasons we're doing all the axle bar work, to get that grip caught back up to where it was. And so I might throw in some extra grip work today. I'll definitely do grip work tomorrow on GPP day. But again, the name of the game here, keep keeping the hamstrings and posterior chain strong. We got a good, strong, solid good morning there. We need it to come up. We need it to come up. You know, a lot of people are asking things like, oh, well, you know, what about quads? Well, you guys forget, I do speed squats, I do plyometrics, and I do sled drags. It's all the quad work I need. My quads, look at my quads. My quads are not a weak link in anything. And that's a whole nother topic I probably need to cover more later. Because I've actually had people argue, well, people with certain femur links need more. No, people with certain femur links need to learn how to squat correctly for their femur links. Okay? Every single person I've ever seen blame their bad squat on their femur links, and I'm not saying it's not a legitimate excuse. It's as legitimate of an excuse as my arm length is. You have to work around it. You have to find better leverages, and most of them don't squat correctly. That's why they have a terrible squat relative to that femur length. Yes, people with longer femurs have to squat a little bit differently. Okay, but it doesn't mean that they're more quad dominant. All right, that's total nonsense. Complete nonsense. It has nothing to do with it. If anything, they need to be working on being less quad dominant in the way that they squat. Not that you can remove the quads as a primary mover. But in my case, I don't have long femurs, so I have a lot more wiggle room. But there's plenty of quad work in my training through the week. Plenty of quad work. It's like saying, well, there's no pec work in your training. Well, I'm benching all the time. I do dips, speed bench. There's pec work there. But I probably get plenty of quad work outside of what you guys actually see. The sled drags are a big deal. Also, on these reverse hypers, I went up slightly. Why? I'm trying to say super, super strict, no swinging. And I went ahead and calculated off of a 600-pound squat for today. So I look at it and say, well, if I go up 10 pounds, that's technically the appropriate reverse hyper for a 600-pound squat. I need a 600-pound squat. And we need it to happen sooner rather than later. So one of my bars off of a box, I need a 600. I don't even care which bar, any of them. Even if one of the bars seems easier than another, I need you to start knocking down some 600 squats. I need that to start happening. All right, we need to get 600 off that box. so that we know we can get 600 straight raw, which means I need to be able to hit 600 straight weight off of that box. So we've got to push for that. We've got to do whatever it takes to get there. And yes, I know I'm not eating very many calories relative to previously. My weight loss stalled it a little bit, but it'll probably end up swooshing down later, because I had said before it was going to be very slow. I cut 7 pounds. Kind of stayed at the same weight since, but eventually it's going to dip down a little bit. But the other thing to remember, I'm not eating as many calories. However, my carbs are a lot higher, and that's a factor there. I'm eating more carbs probably right now than I have in years, even though I'm on relatively low calories for me. So it definitely helps keep the extra muscle weight on. It's helping with the performance a lot. But it was a good workout. I'm really happy with that PR. Passed one of the little milestone goals I had set, knowing it was a very, very easy milestone, that I would pass it pretty easy. I passed it a little faster than I thought I would. I feel like I left some in the tank, so we're going to keep pushing forward, but we're going to do it safely. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.